time.
No, I
Regular
can't-
Tuesday, regular
I
Tuesday.
cannot take you as a serious person.
No, because whenever I see but then that's what happened because you have Cooks is essentially a hill of combustible material that has been there for decades.
And the problem cannot be solved down at Cooks. The problem has to be solved from the outside.
Because we're the ones who are feeding Cooks.
Correct. So it has to be a situation which we've begun doing it. We started. We have to get to the place where we divert things from the landfill. So things that can be recycled need to be diverted. Our the scraps that we got from our yard needs to be diverted.
We need to get a metal plant, so old fridge and stove and so. I'm surprised that nobody's ever thought about that one though. A metal plant.
They have. We have. Will's Recycling does metal.
So why they don't just send them there instead of taking them
Because
to the landfill?
recycling is a delicate process. So anything that has to be recycled, it needs money, number one. It needs manpower, number two, and you need machinery. So what we need, just like the tires, anybody who's been to the landfill, there's, I don't know if we can call it a hill no more. It's the stretch of tires is so long, and just like the possibilities with tires. I know years ago we actually had a machine on island. I'm not sure what happened, where they were shredding the tires, and the conversation where we were going to use the tires to help with the roads. So it's going to take years. It's not going to happen overnight. But we started, and we now need to look at different avenues. So we've been heavily focused on plastic, but metal is a big thing. Tires are a big thing.
And metal is more cumbersome.
Food scraps are a thing. All of the scrubs from the side of the road are a thing. What we cannot keep sending everything to the landfill, and we have to do an in-depth study. And if we want to expand the University of the West Indies, waste management has to be at the top of it.
Correct, because the line of breeze will blow all of the smoke to the university every single time the landfill goes on fire.
Nobody send them picnic away where constantly classes are being
dismissed because of smoke.
So it goes hand in hand. Like we're gonna move Five Islands Primary School. Five Islands Primary School is being moved closer to the landfill.
Right.
If we keep having landfill fires, that means we're gonna keep interrupting the school day.
And then there's a plan to build a secondary school next to it.
So the one at the top of our list has to be fix the problem at Cooks, but Cooks cannot be solved at Cooks. Cooks has to be solved. Like, for instance, Sailing Week. None of the things that can be recycled from the regatta village ended up in the landfill. Just like how we have to get to the place where none of the food scraps end up in the landfill. We begin talking about how just like how Sailing Week has a green team, every event has a green team. Every mass troop has a green team. Every business has a green team. Everything surrounds how we're going to change not just recycling. It's not just the plastic, but there's the food and everything else when it comes to waste.
And that brings me to the second, well, not the second, but the next part of the discussion, where I wanted to ask about Sailing Week. Because as we know, Sailing Week is one of the biggest things that we have from a tourism perspective. Tourism, it is actually extends our tourism season by about the factor of about a month or so. So in most of the parts of the Caribbean, the tourism season has ended their robust section. Ours continues for maybe a month or 3 weeks also because of Sailing Week, right? Now, I know last year, a little bit after Carnival, you're on the show, we started talking about
eco events.
Right. And ensuring that every single event has the green team and so on and so forth. And I think there was a few bands that you worked with and a few fetes, and you know, the kids enjoyed it because they got free access to fetes.
They had the time of their lives.
Yeah, they had a whale of a time, right? And so you have a green team for Antigua Sailing Week as well.
Correct. So with Sailing Week, we are attaching to something that they've been doing for years. So this isn't new to Sailing Week. Sailors of the Sea has a manual. I actually downloaded and read the book. It's like 50-something pages, where they give you guidance to ensure the sea is clean. And you apply for different tiers when it comes to what you did during your regatta to ensure the ocean is kept clean. So this is year 2 working with Sailing Week, and we go in and our job is to ensure that anything that can be recycled
Is recycled.
is recycled. And then we began the conversation, and next year, Sailing Week, I'm hoping it's going to be great. We're going to ensure that anything that can be composted is composted. So all of the food scraps are not going to end up down there. And what we want to also do is have a big educational component. So this year we added that each boat got a recycling bag, and what should happen is they should fill the bag, and then at the end of the day they would come and empty it into the recycling bins. We were able to place recycling bin at Antigua Yacht Club Marina, Falmouth Harbour Marina, and Catamaran Marina. The idea is that even after Sailing Week, the bins are going to be there. So when boats come in,
everybody continues the trend of recycling.
Correct. And a lot of these people are coming from countries where it's normal. So it's not a situation where it's new. So
our second guest, Javez, ladies and gentlemen.
So it's not going to be, for them it's not new. For us, it's actually very
relative, not new per se, because we know about it, we just don't practice it.
Because we need legislation, we need regulations, we
need everything, and we need things that are actually enforced, particularly at the household level. Because, like, I'm gonna tell you what is so ghetto about our waste management, and I'm just gonna go on a tangent here. Our waste management is so ghetto, it's not even funny. The average person in their rubbish bin, I want barrel, me included. So I'm not try starting on body. So if anybody can say, "Oh, I'm sure for you rubbish and barrel," yeah, and go wash your can. Who cares, right? The average person, our rubbish bin, I just want barrel that somebody get out, dig 2 holes, and instead of water drain out and I put our rubbish in there, right? So like, I'm going to tell you when it became so apparent to me. Maybe a month ago, I was driving in my area when it was rubbish day, and I said to myself, "But Kuya, make all them barrel on the side of the road." I'm like, "Oh, really a tech place? So dollar barrel come in or something," and then I realized that's how we view waste management. There's no separation of okay, so this is recyclable and
it's not a culture. It's not a culture.
And then if you do it, people then find you it's in my house. You have 2 rubbish bins. There's a very big one that is for actual waste, and then I have a second one, and it has some sticky notes on it that says plastic bottles, plastic bottles, plastic bottles, plastic bottles. Right? So you can't pass the one for rubbish and put one plastic buckle inside of my rubbish. You hear me tell you? Because the sun right there. And if you really put them inside of my rubbish, I'm going to tell you to go inside the rubbish and take them out. Okay, you can see them. Right? And so for me personally, it's intentional so that, okay, I am doing my
little part.
Right? And then
but
so often...
let me ask you a very controversial question. So, households, do you think a household would argue if the government implemented a $45 charge per month?
They would, but it would be unreasonable, because Antigua's probably one of the freest societies when it comes to levies and taxations and fines and supporting state operations. Presently, and I can be corrected if I'm wrong, majority of the funding that goes towards national solid waste, it's either subventions from the central government, or like when they do like specific pickup and they might charge.
There's a $25 charge on every bottle that's imported, and that's also revenue for solid waste.
Right. And that's minor and minuscule. They can't fund it. The only how solid waste will reach the point of being financially independent of state intervention is if the individuals that it services are levied to some extent. It doesn't have to be any grand total. Yeah.
So
but
I'm asking you that. The model for Barbados is that they charge each household $1.50 per day, which translates to $45, just about $45 per month. And that's the model that different countries also use. Okay. So like in the US and Canada, recycling is a part of the grand scheme of things. So instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, we're going to use a model that's already there. So in a conversation this week, somebody said maybe $45 is too much. But I said to them, you can't just think of it as just collecting the items. First thing first, we need to provide each household with a bin. Because as you said, every household in this country, we just have the regular blue
Use on
barrels.
barrel.
So we as a country, in order to implement this, we're going to have to buy over 50,000 barrels, right? Bins. After we buy the bins, we're going to have to get trucks, we're going to have to get workmen, and then we're also going to have to get to the place where they're separated. So when they come to us, wherever our facilities is, we're going to have to separate glass, plastic, cans. So we have to pick them up from your house. They have to come to
They
wherever
have to be transported.
Then when we get to wherever that place is, it still has to go through another sorting process. Some of it, we have the technology on island now that the plastic can be converted to lumber. There are lots of things that we can do with it, but we don't have the technology right now to do all of it. Some of it is still going to have to be exported. That
Especially
means
places like the Dominican Republic.
and next money spending. So the rationale for the $45, it should cover the entire cost of operations. It's not just pick up. And somebody said to me, but the average Antiguan can't afford that. And I'm just
What do
like,
you mean? Anyways.
no, but this is a good discussion, and it's something that we should have a survey and different polls. We should probably go to St. John's today and just give out handouts, ask people the question. We should actually aim to ask 1,000 people this question. I'm gonna admit that's gonna be a
Is
project.
$45 too much to pay for waste management?
Correct. We should have a tally about it and see. I'm gonna reach out to Pineapple. I'm gonna reach out to Candace from Pineapple Express. I'm gonna start there. Then on a Saturday, I'm just gonna go and we're gonna ask random people until we get to 1,000 people and see what the regular Antiguan thinks. And again, it's another bill. So while it's necessary, the cost of licensing our vehicles are no more. The cost of food is no more. So like,
How do you put this across in such a way that it doesn't seem like an insult and a burden to the population itself?
and the reality is, as we discussed, it's something that needs to happen because one of the things why programs don't work is because there's
There's usually no funding behind it. And so we talk about all these things in theory, but there's not the necessary resources to back it. So, and it translates to everything. We talk about youth violence and, we need to have these interventions, these programs, and these organizations. These organizations don't have money, and that's why these organizations have faded into oblivion. These organizations don't have technical support. That's why they faded into oblivion. These organizations are powered by people who are doing free work, and those people, unfortunately, have to live and survive. There's no money to pay them. And since there's no money to pay them, they don't do these programs anymore, and they're shut down. So we can't do these youth intervention programs. We talk about mental health. Mental health requires money. We don't have facilities. We don't have technicians. We don't have the necessary nurses. So we can't fix that problem. We talk about youth unemployment. Okay, how we actually creating all around just absolutely amazing individuals who can enter into the world of work? Are we doing that? No, we're not. We're mass producing dodo birds.
And it goes back to money. We need money. And you are right. So very candid, our biggest challenge is finance. So we came on this same show multiple times and we're begging people barrels. And we got barrels. And we put the barrels into the schools. And then we received past tense grant funding. So just for information purposes, how grant funding work? If you apply for $2, you need for sure that you can make $2. So we applied and we were successful. Our sustainability component was the plastic-free initiative. So ideally, we didn't need to charge anybody because what would happen is if we collect bottles from a school, comes to our facilities, we sort it, we give it to the plastic free, we get 20 cents. So we were estimating that we would generate over $100,000 every year from that 20 cents. If you go to John Hughes now and you look on our hill, it's actually valued about $180-something thousand. It looks like waste, but it's actually not. It just needs to be sorted into converting our bottles into money. We started our program September 2023. The plastic free initiative closed December 2023. Since then, we've been in negotiation with the government. How do we go forward? What do we do? And we're still going. We're still negotiating. However, we have a team that has not been paid since October 15th. And at many occasions, we're like, we're going to shut this down. We don't have any money. Done with it. Be gone with it. And at many occasions, I remember saying to the team in January, and our project should end June, and I said to them, I want to have the money. I can't make the decision right now if we're going to just call this quits because I know you guys are tired. We've been having these negotiations and nothing is coming from it. However, there is hope. The hope is we're going to convert our delay and our stress into Guinness World Book records. We never thought of doing Guinness World Book record. We never thought of doing a museum. We never thought of this $45 because we're dependent. We knew that we were going to get that 20 cents. When that 20 cents didn't actualize, we then pivoted. So it's like, we just need to get to the place where we're generating enough revenue to cover the cost of running a program. Me tired, my team tired, everybody tired, because this is over. This is foolishness. However, being tired has also fueled us working with the green team and us getting a stipend from that. Us working with Oasis, Guinness World Book Records. We gave the service that we're providing now. We started that conversation. We gave 9 bins to Jolly Harbour yesterday. So that's a paid service. We have a community down at Deep Bay in English Harbour. There are 44 homes who are going to get on the program. I sent out a survey and 21 other people signed up. So now we're moving from we don't have money to generating some form of revenue so that individuals can be paid. However, during this time, it is hard, it is tiring, it's overwhelming because why are we fighting for pay? Nothing works without money. No ship runs without gas. And I will say to anybody, very candid, very open, we haven't been paid. However, we're still working because it is not about Joshua Francis. It is about Diana. It is about Kamalie. It is about every person with a disability that we're trying to give a job. And I'm telling you now, do not do what I do. I go on the spirit of Job. I really am working on Job faith. And on days that I'm tired, God sends me like a thing to say, you're going to be fine. God bless the man and the decisions that I made when I was younger, that I am on unpaid leave from the government. I have eaten, the bills of my house have been paid, and Javed's school fees paid. That is the man. Thank God that I won't get lucky and I won't date one man who makes sense, that I have been surviving. But he's also tired because how much longer can he go and me not contributing? So let's put that out there. The man, so when you see me and you see the man, Naki tell you do good things, Fanti and Barbie the two. And my nephews and my nieces, and we've all been given, and my mom, because we believe in it. And that's number one. And number two, there's a hill full of bottles. So failure cannot be an option. What are we going to do? Send all of them to the landfill? So we have to find innovative and creative ways. And like this week, we were able to get some funds and we paid a team to sort over 293 bags ready to go to Abrek. And I will say to anybody, I'm tired. I'm very over it. Very. But the spirit of Job in me says, Joshua, on the tired days, you go to sleep, you get up, and you go to work. Very open. Because when the story busts me, and I say, oh, I was hiding. We don't have no money. Good humans don't have no money. What good humans have, our leader who go to church when she younger and now I have faith like Job. I have a brother that every time he calls, like yesterday he calls me, Joshua, I have some water to move from Buckley's to John Hughes. He gets into the truck and the truck is on E. When I get back to the truck, I have half tank of gas. Every time, just like tonight, he calls me. He has some board. He's going to move them from Buckley's. He's going to give me $100. Every time he has one little job, he's going to give me some money. So that means we have fuel. We've been able to survive. And again, the spirit of Job, and I'm not working blindly. We have now, finally, we're at the place, we're at this month, we're probably going to make $2,500 because we have sailing week. We have these 2 contracts that we've signed in and it's going to work out. And very candid, you don't get paid, you don't pay your loan. So the bank sends me a letter saying that they're going to repossess my land. We're in phase 1. So if anybody doesn't know, when you lose your job, the bank, they just tap your loan. Me send the bank an email saying that, I don't have any money, little things to work out. The people then tell me my loan has to go into delinquent stage. The lady calls me and I go, I have an English tongue. I'm not fired from my job. I'm on unpaid leave. So technically I should go back to work if I'm not transferred. September. Okay. The lady says to me, and she's like, Joshua, so you are telling me that you gave up your salary to do this, thinking that, you're going to get transferred, and it didn't work out. in January. She's like, you can just, and we had a candid conversation, you can just go back to work. And the truth is, I can just go back to work. However, it is bigger. I can't. I'm not going to sleep good at night. I'm driving down in Potters and Diana's wheelchair, like it's not, it's falling apart. I come out of the truck and like, she needs hope. And God, when I'm tired, God has given me these little reminders as to why I'm doing this. Because while we're focused on waste management, while we're focused on ensuring that my son can go to UE in the future, it's about giving individuals with disabilities jobs.
And that is important for those young people who need it, who need the encouragement. And it's often, I find it sad in a sense, because I often say this much. We give money to a lot of things. We give
1.3 mil
and things
concert
and things that I think are also unimportant. A lot of them. So let me just give you some examples. We spend a lot of money sending civil servants on conferences and seminars, of which when they come back, then really do much of that information. We spend a lot of money giving them per diems to go on these trips. We spend a lot of money buying fridges for their offices and all of these wonderful things, but we don't spend money on ensuring that the innovative part of our population is given the necessary support. Because can you imagine if we reach a day we say, here what, all them pays to travel upon this conference and that conference, cut that down into half. Foolishness. Because when I come back, I just go back to not being able to send people a couple upgrade letter. No, teachers now work Monday, right? Then kind of Sunday happen, right? And so, since we're going to cut that money, here what? You have a nice program that you're doing the waste management. So here what? The state is going to give you, for the next 6 months, and if you continue doing it, maybe another little thing. Okay, you're doing something innovative with young people. Okay, we have this innovators fund here. Okay, you're going to get a little piece of thing right here. Look at you. You're doing a wonderful thing over there in Barbuda. Okay, you come. Yes, you need some support. Okay, so we're going to give you this, so at least you can pay bills month time.
Mannix, I will say to anybody, we don't actually need money. Part of it isn't money. We need government has resources that needs to be allocated better.
Yeah.
And we have seen it. You ever see them fix the road? 20 of them. Woman, how we pay 20 man for fix one patch? I remember going and speaking to a particular businessman, and he said, Joshinette, them fix the road up a Param. And you know that they're now carving out the way for us to do the bus should come off the road. He said, Joshinette, count them. 40-something of them pan the stretch. And he said, when I count them, come into the traffic. And he's not lying. There are lots of times. Who are the engineers? What make them build the road?
I want to know. What make
the road in the Jennings now and what? Every time rain come, water cycle. If water cycle, that mean that you gonna eat out the asphalt. Who? When you build this road, you never think of water.
You're thinking. No. You're thinking about that road. You know what bothers me? The company that is building that stretch of road that ends in Wilkie's, that company needs to be fired. The amount of time they've paved and cut out, and then realize after they've paved the road that they had to build a bridge, and then cut out again, and then now they're doing the things for the bus stops, and then they go cut out another piece.
So you tell me when they build the road, they never think of the bus stops. They never think of the bus stops.
They never thought about the bridge.
They never thought about drainage. I'm just like, again.
So it is allocation of resources that we need to work on to ensure that
allocation of resources. Yeah,
that is the biggest part.
Who are these managers? Some of them need to get fired.
But I'm going to say this too. I'm going to put in this plug here to be fair to politicians. The reality of the situation is in Antigua and Barbuda, the only people we blame for lack of proper performance is politicians. And the reality of the situation is people don't understand this. There's not a politician in this country that can run a ministry. No politician runs a ministry. The ministries are run by PSs.
Correct. And the technical officers.
And permanent and principal assistant secretaries and senior assistant secretaries and assistant secretaries and director of government departments. So everybody's going to complain, there's no toilet paper in the department, the minister needs to get fired. Lady, the minister's not responsible for ordering toilet paper. The minister don't even know that no toilet paper inside of the bathroom until somebody kick up about it. And then he's going to ask his PS a question, and the PS is going to say, I know that there was no toilet paper in the bathroom, but I did nothing about it. But we don't hold that individual accountable. So let's take Ministry of Education now. It is a personal gripe. Teachers are on industrial action from today. We were supposed to go on industrial action from Wednesday. Why? Because the same set of letters that we went on protest about a few weeks ago, that they said, yes, we're going to have the monies and we're going to sort out everything, and oh yes, those checks, we're going to have them for you. People and them been supposed to get them signed, and then Wednesday, then go to them, they say, oh, and they said, oh, you know, we don't have everything now, come back Friday come. Not until all day. But I can bet you there's going to be a week or two from now that somebody from education is going to go to some nice conference somewhere.
Just to even shameless plug. So, I've been teaching. The 13th of this month is going to make 10 full years I'm in the government service. When they get back pay in December, me one of them people who don't get no money. When you call Treasury, first thing first, I'm going to get my money. So I go, I'm asked Treasury about my money because I'm supposed to get my money. Our Prime Minister say everybody from 2018 forget their money. You go Treasury say, Joshua, no, you need to go to education. Go for education.
Because education sends down the vouchers.
Education said, no, Treasury, if I go back. Go back to Treasury. Treasury said, no, girl. It's an education problem. I go back to education. Education said, okay, we're going to take your name. And I said, I'm going to have 5 more friends. Let me give my friend in the name because them don't collect the money either. Because my can't go chat about me, but my friend in the want the money too. May. And the money, they don't pay the money since December now. There's still a set of us. May mountain, I want to collect the money. The system it's just flawed, and it's not politicians, as you said.
These problems, the civil servant issues. No, I will give you this. In order for individuals to be paid out of Treasury, a voucher has to be sent from a ministry. Treasury, you can't just pop the Treasury. Oh, I'm supposed to get $500 and then pay you. That's not how it works. That's not how any system works. Accounts department in Ministry X, they're going to do up a voucher. That voucher is going to go through whatever processes in terms of who needs to sign it. That voucher is then going to go down to Treasury. Treasury then receives it, and then the accountant general or his staff understands, okay, this is a voucher from so-and-so, and as the government's bursar, because that is what Treasury is. They are a bursar. Treasury don't have no independent processes. Treasury's one job on this planet Earth is to pay money. That's all. Right? As the government's bursar, they will then say, okay, look, $100. So I'll even give you this much. The moment that I was dumbfounded with the good ministry that I work for. Love most of them, but you have your moments. I was teaching for maybe 4 years at this point. So this is maybe, I started teaching in 2018, so this is 2022. Never collected my medical benefits card. Never really needed it. I don't get sick, never needed medication, so I never really needed it. Yesterday I was walking into town and I said, you know what, since I'm 16 and I signed up for medical benefits, I think I should go and get the card, even if it's just for ID. I go to Ministry of Education. Now, Ministry of Education, go to medical benefits. And the lady says to me, sir, you don't qualify to get a medical benefits card. Me shocked. I'm like, wait, what take place? So I mean, I say, miss, you know who me be? You know, long may work. And she said, oh, you only see payment for 3 months. I said, 3 months or 3 years? Because at this point, I was like, I've been a teacher for 4 years. So you can't just see payments for 3 months. That doesn't make no sense. She's like, oh, yes, we see payments when you worked in ministry of so and so and so and so in 20, how much you ever, back when Jesus was a little baby. And I said, don't talk and go so. I said, miss, you know how long may work? And she said, oh, well, you know, this happens all the time. Go to the ministry and get a letter from them so that they can validate that you've been working for all this time. Because no information for you was ever sent down from your employer. Look at me now marching up Navy Street and going to Ministry of Education because me couldn't believe it. When we reach Ministry of Education, all you have to wait till tomorrow, I say, miss, let me tell you something, right? I say, miss, let me tell you something. All since me come from, right? All since me live. Me now left tongue from Social Security card. So all either behind the machine, come on machine and type from letter for me, please. I not done so. Me go medical benefits today for my card. Foolishness. Right? I know when you behave, people are going to say, oh, you know, and he's so rude when he come inside here. But for 3 years, these people had no records that me work for Ministry of Education. That Ministry of Education ever pay medical benefit scheme for me? But when we look on my pay slip, he said how much ever money for medical benefits. And when you go up there and you begs, I want problem. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, now that we finish all of the tangent and bawling about the things I really to talk about. Because these things all feed into why a lot of things just don't work properly. That is why our youth work doesn't work properly. We have a Department of Youth Affairs that does not have a building, that does not have proper management, and I say that with no water in my mouth, that needs some sort of intervention. You have youth leaders out there who really want to do things that are positive, that will impact Antigua in a phenomenal way, but they're restricted. And money sometimes, as you rightfully said, is sometimes the least of it. Money sometimes is the least of it. Sometimes it's just the resource. Sometimes it's even the technical support. Something technical that has to be done, and you just wish there was a place you could go and there's one person who can say, okay, I will assist you from a technical standpoint to get you there. These are the problems that a lot of these youth leaders and youth organizations face.
And then, as you said, what happens is, which you see around the place, there are lots of organizations that are no longer functional because how long can somebody go again? God bless me. When I'm young, when I start to work, when I go buy my land long time, I bought my car cash. I don't have a mortgage, but my mortgage was approved. So I would have put certain things in place. And now I am reaping the benefits of being somewhat financially wise when I was younger. And sitting here, I call the bank. The bank say, from only about $8,000. And my land is an acre of land. So I asked the girl, so how long I have before I actually repossess my land? And the woman really thinks it's a crazy person. I'm like, first thing first, I'm the spirit of Job. Me want ever take for me land, sell my land and give me the chance so I can build one house. Because right now, you know, I want one house, I have one land and I can't have a house. So I have to choose. And the woman, I look at me, she look at me, she's like, you are a crazy person. I'm like, woman, you know the serenity prayer say? The things that I can't, first of all, I have money for Paris, I can't control that. But you know, I can't control if I do sell my land, I get someone, then I can build a house. But that's also me. I don't think you understand how the serenity prayer works. But the reality is, at some point, I will not be able to go anymore because I won't have it. Mm-hmm. And that's sad because the program is a necessary program. Mm-hmm. Our program is a fundamental program for Antigua and Barbuda. The waste is a problem. If we don't fix the waste problem in this country, in the next 10 years, it's not a massive
We will not know where our rubbish is going to go, literally. In every sense of the word, we won't know where our rubbish is going to go.
It is mandatory, and this is why it comes back down to us ensuring we gather data. And again, it is not a Joshuanet idea. It's not a good human's idea. This is something that's happening around the world. Research it. Plastic pollution is a problem. The king... his baton is going around and the theme is plastic pollution. Mm-hmm. What is happening to our waters? And if the king and all of Commonwealth is thinking about plastic, how is it a group, an organization on the ground doing so much work with plastic? We can't get the support that's necessary. It's crazy.
Because you support other things that are futile.
And then people up say, I've learned in this country, me, I want problem. And I say, so me, I want problem become a lie. I cannot, the government give me some work, man. The government says to me the workman should work from 7 a.m. to 2. So me, if you're 7 o'clock, you have to work for. At 7 o'clock, you have to work for. The workmen don't come to work for 7 o'clock. They come 8, 9 o'clock. They leave at 12. How dare you, Joshuanet? How dare you? How dare you want people for work?
For the hours that
they're supposed to work. You are the problem. You are the problem. You cannot want people for work for the time they're supposed to work. Them work so long time. 10 people come before you, after you, and they're okay with it. Who is you? So me the problem. I'm going to talk to the workman and say, I recognize. If I left you at 12 o'clock every day for 5 days, that's 10 hours. Then you come late. And next 5 hours, you got 15 hours. And all the break of them, I take. So I can't go work for 5 days, you know. I come for 5 days. But you recognize I only really do 2 days worth of work. Me, Joshua, and Amber Louise Francis, who Lois, my mama, me the problem now. How dare you want people for work? Mm-hmm. And me go call the people and them and say like, well, You said to me that they're supposed to work from 7 to 2. But they're not working from 7 to 2. The man and then tell me them they never work to 2 o'clock. All the years they don't work. Who is you? And you are telling me one thing and the men are saying to me a different thing. And we're having this back and forth conversation. You know me the problem. You know the problem. And the problem isn't that we're wasting government resources. Me are the problem. And I can give little issues. Like, how is our country being run? And I said to someone, you know, bother me. It's people assume it is the government, not a people that make our country run down the drain. The people in the different managerial positions who have been allowing foolishness to happen. You can't come tell me, and me no need for lie. I go and ask them themselves. I'm a plenty email them again. You can't go tell me that one workman can tell me he worked for 3 years for the government and never worked to 2 o'clock and don't work 12 o'clock every day. What is that? How are we being productive? Taxpayers' money? That cannot be fair. That cannot be right. But that is what we love.
But then here's the thing now. When people are held accountable.
What is that word?
It's then.
What is that?
It's then a big problem.
Say that word again. Say
right?
it again.
Accountable.
No, you have to break it down.
So now, say for example, that individual is then fired. It's going to be a Facebook storm. Oh, they fired a man. And he had 5 picnic for feed. And he had 3 baby mother. Oh, God, gassing and wicked. No, I can't vote for them. No, you know that you have 6 children and 3 baby mothers. All depending
one
on
granny,
you.
one cousin, and one uncle.
I would want to believe that you then understand it is my sacred duty to ensure that I perform at my absolute best so that I keep whatever job, so I can continue to contribute, so I can continue to feed my children. I tell people all the time, if it was left to me alone, because I'm a very minimalist person, me wouldn't work now. Teach what? Come WTP way. But it's up home, I'm going to lie down, I'm going to do nothing tall. You hear me tell you? Left to Kamalie alone. I'm going to go up into the bush, build one shack, make sure plenty mango tree about the place. Tap up there. Nobody tall disturb me. I hope I'm pan somebody about, then I can get water for wash, make it and drink. That's all. You hear me tell you? Nobody stress me. But the reason why I work, and I do all of these amazing things, that I'm involved, that I'm active, I have 3 nieces and a nephew that I love to death. And they like very expensive things. And they have very expensive hobbies. Like crocheting and knitting. So look at me ending up in Dear Merchant, aka Lolita's buying yarn. And so I have to understand that. And so when people then take the emotional argument, oh, how are you going to fire these individuals and have so many people depending on them? But you know that you have people depending on you.
Exactly.
So you need to take accountability.
And I will also say, very spiritual. You know why a lot of Antiguans can't have nothing because their money to bless. Your money can't bless when you don't work for too much people always see them vehicle and always are brought down. Then no matter what they have, no matter what they do, it can't in there. That is because their money not blessed. Their money, cause God know them a thief. Them a thief out with taxpayers' money. You can't go to work. Yeah, check it out. If you're a listener, go around and look. The people who come to work and complain the most
are the people who do the least.
And they're never happy. They can't ever have the money in the bless.
But then I'm going to put it to you from a money standpoint, from an economic standpoint. In most modern countries or most developed countries, they usually have metrics and mechanisms that measure productivity, right? Productivity in the private sector, productivity in the public sector, productivity in the economy overall. I don't think we've ever really introduced any of those mechanisms in Antigua. Because if we were to do the research, we'd actually find out that our productivity, and I can say this without any sort of doubt, our productivity in this country is probably woefully low, right? And I say this much. Our government's budget is almost close to 2 billion EC dollars. About 450 million out of that is salaries and wages for civil servants. Salaries, wages, pensions, gratuities. And I tell people this. I have a problem with the government having 13,000 civil servants. I have a problem with the government having to spend $450 million on salaries and wages. But the problem that I will have, and I'm pretty sure that the government would agree, is that what level of productivity am I getting after spending $450 million? Why can't...
Hi, good day. Why are you answering the phone? Hello?
Why is this document not being done? Why does the bathroom not have toilet paper?
Why is it not?
Why did teachers not get a simple letter? Why are checks printed from Treasury in June and then the minister sit down?
Like, is that making sense?
answer these questions. So then the $450 million that is being spent, is the government getting it back in terms of productivity?
No.
And I tell people this, our government is very gracious. Because if many of you had to work in societies where people actually held accountable for the work they do, I'd unemployed, I'd broke. Nobody told how are you? Can't up work. You hear me tell you? Me not some nigga, right? But now I call out none of my co-workers. Oh, my sickness.
Always sick.
Oh, God. Look.
How
you know me just gonna say so?
How you can sick so? How you can? Hello, you see Javez with me? Me tell somebody.
At this point, the best you did.
My friends, I ask them, so what happens every time your kid is sick at this point? Javez is young. I'm going to recognize it. Every time he have one like a cold, the daycare, so then care. Hold he. I'm literally have a mess with my friend. So every time pick a nigga sick, you have a tap. That cannot be the system. He need to go by his granny.
Mm-hmm.
He need. Hello, right now, I have Tylenol in my house. I have sick medication. When he come home, he little. Because you need to go to school tomorrow. You need to go to work.
You're not happy.
You're not happy. No, but and I me walk with him. Me so thankful. Me hello, we go together.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime he's sick, wherever me go, once me can't carry, me carry. And if me can't carry, I have to call one of my friends. You can't hold jobs for 2 hours. Give me. Let me go and do what I have to do. Like me not understand.
We restrict our own development. If the government were to get, if every civil servant,
I want one plaque. I want a plaque. I want the front. Fire them. Fire them. And our prime minister our prime minister, prime example, he gets on his show and he says the road that need to fix in 60 days is somebody gonna have a job. Yeah, the road start to fix.
Mm-hmm.
When he get on his show and he start to cuss, and people will say they want to say about him. But the reality is he is not in control of certain things.
Mm-hmm.
He is not in control of writing no letter. You will tell me, even if you don't have the money, you can't write the letter to tell the person that I'm going to upgrade. How long it take for write a letter? You will tell me in a 2025. We can't send an email asking for a job letter in a 2025.
Yeah.
In a 2025.
I have to write a written letter, or because the letter has to go on your file. Okay, why the file can't be digital? You know how much paper I waste? I remember, case in point. Maybe about 2 years ago, Barbados' National Archive had a fire. There was a fire in the National Archives. Documents like hell. Totally destroyed. No copy. Gone to the dust. Never to be seen again. That's all. That's it. He just gone. If, for example, God forbid, God really heavily, thoroughly forbid, Ministry of Education has some kind of freak fire. Or me say freak fire all onto the filing cabinet and then burn up. You hear me tell you? Everything is gone.
Where the record?
Hey, our so all right. And I'm gonna tell how I solve on many levels. One, teachers can't go in and claim anything. Me can claim my work from since 2020. As a matter of fact, I can claim since my work since 2009. And I had no documents to fight against me. Right? Maybe the most they can do, maybe bank that establishment hand copy or something, or PSC hand copy or something. But let's just say all of them have fire at the same time. Yes, all. Cool. Whenever a school closes down, their records are sent to the ministry to be safe kept. So then people just go Pilgrim High School and Premier Secondary School, and so them school that people even know about their documents. So then the transcript, they can go to the Ministry of Education, Ministry can pull up their documents. That's how it works. Now let's say the fire burn down then Sunday now. Somebody want to go somewhere and prove that they may go on school.
But you want me to give one drop? You remember the fire at All Saints Secondary?
All the records, where then they?
Gone.
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 So my friend sends me a message, right? Very real. My friend sends me a message saying that she needs her transcript. Remember the record, God, no. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, the conversation, I'm just like, okay, first, it's gone.
That's it.
However, but even if it's gone, we should have a plan for what we're going to do. And we don't have no plan.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, so Crystal literally responds to me, Joshua Ned, I have to revisit this year because...
me. I'm going to give you this. I remember the day of the fire, because of where I live in All Saints, when there's no bush, public works don't come and clear the bush as they're supposed to, or whoever responsible. Whenever there's no bush, I can literally stand on my back step and see All Saints Secondary. Mm-hmm. The day that the fire was happening, or the early morning, my sister got up to go to some church function, because she believes in the Lord. Me and Darlem go in church Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday morning, twice a Sunday night, and all them Sunday me, all them jamming in nobody. You understand? Don't think me visit so often from bed when me asleep. And I remember she said she saw when the initial thing happened, and she thought, okay, why is there light over at school? It was a very early morning too. I remember that.
It was early
because I remember she came into the house because my sister went to All Saints Secondary and she taught at All Saints Secondary for about 14 years, right? My sister then comes into the house with this whole panic because she went out on the kitchen step. Oh, the school is on fire, blah, 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 blah. And Antiguans are the weirdest set of people. Usually when you see fire, people run from fire. Antiguans are going out, turn up and pull one chain out, put a hand on our waist and catch up with somebody I haven't seen in 5 years. Because that is the village meeting place, whoever house a bun down. But anyways. And I remember Eloise Harris, who's been a teacher at All Saints Secondary for years. I didn't even know Miss Harris went to All Saints Secondary.
Yes, she did.
I remember when she was there on that day, she literally said, I went to All Saints, so all of my records are destroyed. Right? I was maybe 16, 17, somewhere thereabout. I was really young. Michael Brown was still a politician, so a long time ago.
Correct.
Because them days are gone to the dustbins, right? And I remember that. And it's so sad to see that now you have individuals who might have graduated. Miss Harris would have taught them. Their records are gone too.
Gone.
And we are still using that system of keeping files and records. My school was created in 2017. You go into the secretary's office, a whole bunch of filing cabinets, graduates of 20 this and 20 that, because that's the only how we can keep records. Nobody can just create one little Google Doc, one little Google Drive. Pay Google plenty money and tell them, hey, I need one big dirty drive. And all you have to do, you don't even have to tell nobody for typing nothing. Just scan all the documents.
And it actually will extract the information for you.
And put them there and put them in on drive. And so 30 years from now, when me go back, Ministry of Education, just go up on the drive and then type in Kamalie Mannix. Oh, yes, he went to Antigua Grammar School this year to that year and whatever have you and however breeze blow and all them kind of stuff.
And you know what's crazy, though? Is that a small organization like us, we operate like that. I like to tell my team, I operate like I was there. Everything is on Google for us.
Yeah.
Every single invoice, every single pay slip that we've given, everything is on Google. You know why? When I die, somebody should be able to pick up and carry on the mantle. Again, non-profits need to pay for space. Because there's a lot of things. It's the images, it's the videos, it is our financial records, it is every pay slip, it is the information about every employee, it's about every grant that we've applied to. You have to store it someplace. If my computer crashed right now, I'm going to feel it. But the comfort that I will have is that everything is on the drive. When I upload to another computer, I'm going to be able to download it all. And I'm just like...
And that's how we work too. All of our processes are fully virtual.
It has to be.
All of our records are virtual. Even if I get something physically, which never really happens, most times people are going to email this, scan, upload, scan, upload, scan, upload, scan, upload, scan, upload, scan, upload,
because
scan,
we
upload.
have to prepare for, first thing first, you have to prepare like you're going to die.
Yeah.
Number one. And number two, you also want full transparency. And what works for us is because we don't have a physical office. It is easy for
you can work from anywhere in the world.
Correct. 5 of us can be on the same document. You're seeing what I'm seeing. I don't know.
We missed the ball. I know it's sad. There is a Department of Digital Transformation or something like that. And it is a department or a technician, because sometimes I might be very liberal to say department. There's a technician who I met some years ago. And she said to me, my job is to digitize the processes of the central government. And here I am a few years after that discussion, still having to go to Ministry of Education and write power and bind the sheet that me want one job letter, because the people and them say, oh, you didn't type it. Some say, okay, give one bind the sheet there.
Why are we not sending an email?
And then here we are.
Why are our
and do you know what? And do you know why we end up in the situations like what we have now? Why teachers are on strike? Because guess what? A lot of the times when people are trying to go through this process, oh, we have your file here. But this doesn't say that you ever did a bachelor's degree. This doesn't say that you ever did XYZ degree, because I had to bring a physical document. The physical document sat on somebody's table, then push them in a drawer, they never take them on. And so my file, which is supposed to be, a comprehensive overview of who I am as an employee of the ministry, is very flawed, missing information, because it's a physical thing that it's almost that it's difficult to track how many people interact with it. Why? Because anybody can go and take them up and say working at that department day, and then can move them and then can take out this and can put in that and
It's sad. And again, it's not a politician.
it's technicians.
It's not a politician. It is not. So at this point, Match is gonna get some word. Okay, he's the minister. But it's really not him. It's really not him. It's really the people who should be doing their jobs, not doing their jobs. And that's the crazy sad part of this system. And no time, as you've mentioned before, we're going to blame the technicians.
Just blame the politicians.
Monday morning, I hear, oh, how he this and he that. But he doesn't write letters. He does not write letters. That is not his job. His job is not to write a letter. He get instructions to write a letter. Go and write the letter.
And there are many people inside of a little room that they call personnel who have the job to write said letter. Let me remember one time you apply for a job letter. Go to the process now. Print the letter and so. They say 3 days. Go back there 3 days later. Job letter done. Lady can tell me, come back tomorrow. I say, miss. Hey.
But see, like, you just go to ministry and cards.
Every time I go ministry, I usually go very nice and pleasant. And in 5 seconds, I forget cantankerous.
5 seconds.
5 seconds. Because whatever I ask for, I'm going to get some kind of answer that could just perplex me and frustrate me. And I just have to get angry and just start to cuss.
5 seconds.
Right? Remember the time I'm going and I tell, like, I don't know who the lady was, but I remember when I said this to her, she looked kind of scared. I said, miss, let me tell you something, ask since we come from now. And she's just like, because I went inside, I said, 3 days, okay, fine. Come the 3 days after now. No job letter done. She tell me, come back one of them. I said, miss, let me tell you something now. May have a flight tomorrow morning if we go Barbados with some visa now. And then I make me come in and show me some flight now. So we had letter today. Get the letter. The letter, but my name spelled wrong, my address wrong. And then the letter says, she has been employed in the ministry. I said, wait there. So, we a frack. Okay, cool. I said, okay, cool. I said, okay. Clearly something, okay. Now catch on that Kamalie Beck's and really in the mood today. So I just kind of picked up my Georgette bungle. Come and walk with Georgie all the time. I pick up Georgette. And me walk to the back to personnel. When me walk and stroll to the back now, the security guard a holler more hell. So you can't go behind here. So you can't go behind here. I mean, look back when she come and tell you, well, okay, I'm going to come grab me and pull me back. I ever happened after that. But me don't buy personnel though. And I go inside and I'm there and I'm trying to have I said, look, let me tell you all something, right? I'm going to come.
Do you still have a job?
I'm going to come and I'm going to come very nice. I'm going to come very decent. This is a letter that I need to go to the U.S. Embassy. The U.S. Embassy knows that I don't wear a frack. Somebody name she. So if the embassy asks you for this letter, they're going to be very confused. They don't know exactly what took place. So whoever's responsible for just editing this template, can I if I create a letter independently and template it may just change, can the individual please change this here and print it and give me? That's all I ask for move mountains now. That's all I work. That's all I ask.
Oh, Lord.
And then the person went to the person said, when Mrs. the person said, oh, yeah, Kamalie, I'm so sorry. I was the one that did the letter. She said, oh, God, I'll change it right now. You look on somebody's screen, then on she. I said, but weird. In the good government time. Them are the kind of things that just frustrate people.
Oh, Lord.
Them are the kind of wastage that I have. And that's why a lot
Right.
of things
We're
can't
having
be
a very
accomplished.
serious conversation, but I cannot tell you. But I'm telling you now.
No, sometimes, like, you go with the intention to be decent, let me tell you, and then just, they make you forget dark. Real quick. And the intention to forget dark. You understand? But you just get perplexed and frustrated. I forget dark. I mean, I like get dark. Them kind of things that just bother me.
Oh, Lord. But I'm laughing, but it's serious. But because you're a comedian, but It's really sad. It's really sad. And just like you said, we need support in so Good Humans is one of the many organizations that I know are doing amazing things.
And just need a little support.
Just need little support for ensure. Because the reality is there's funding out there that we can access again. Failure is not an option. So, you know, me go around the place, me go beg everybody $2. Me go do what I have to do. Today I was on a call with CDB and, you know, we're talking about doing this major project. And during the call, the people that said, no, don't involve them. You can't involve certain people right now because they're now in the conversation stage. Like, the money is out there for us to access to change the trajectory of Antigua and Barbuda. However, we would need government support to ensure that programs can be developed. Like, for instance, IHO is trying to build a shelter. Like we're talking about mental health.
Battered women.
There's so much.
There's a church. I'm going to tell you, it's on Wireless Road. They've been trying to build a halfway house across the road from the church. For instance, Noah built the Ark. I think it's Christian Union Church or whatever, something like that. They're building a halfway house across the road for battered women. Church alone do one.
We need some more support. Not us, Good Humans, we need it. And there are also other organizations.
Youth Parliament Association, Youth Arise.
Somebody called me. But that's like, so somebody said to me, right? You should become a politician. You have, I'm like, what?
No. My staff wouldn't like me.
I'm telling that.
We got weekly press conferences. You see, like me, I could not be Daryl right now. You know why? Because I would have a press conference and I would command that all my senior staff are at the desk with me. My permanent secretary, my principal assistant secretaries, my director of education. And I would call the executive teachers union and say, well, we're going to have a very big, grand meeting. We're going to have a kumbaya right now. Right now, I'm going to kumbaya. And I'm going to say, well, bam, 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 good morning, media. I am the Minister of Education. It's a pleasure to have you here. Yes, we know it's nice AC and the seats are very comfortable. Yes. Sit and make sure you're recording well and make sure you take all the notes that you need. So I'm going to allow the president of the Antigua and Barbuda Union of Teachers to state his position, understanding it as a minister of government. I am only a policy maker. My job is to enforce the policy the cabinet has decided. I am not a civil servant. And so after the president of the teachers union has made his position, here you have it. These people here who are paid by the government. They're on the government's payroll. We're only upon the payroll for a 5-year period, and it can be short of the primes of common election, and I get fired by my constituents. Right? Me upon the government payroll for the past 30 years, but these people have been on the government's payroll for the past 30 years. And so these people who are under the government's payroll, who are professional payroll riders, these people are going to explain to you why these people over here are upset. That's my job for the day. I'm the moderator, me Jerry Springer. I'm going to just sit down. I'm going to say, talk. I'm going to say, talk.
And I said,
me, if I was Darren Matthew, me not take the blame for this confusion. Not me. Come. State I case, state when Quebec's. I'm going to just sit down so my hand on my chin.
Because it's not him. It's not him. It is not him. And you know, when teachers striked a few weeks ago, he made a statement in the papers. Mm-hmm. He said he doesn't understand the delay in the letters being produced to teachers.
I can tell you the delay. The people that work in the same building with you, uncle. Fix that building, you fix plenty problems. And the difficulty with ministry education is, and we will admit, ministry education is a dynamic problem. Because there's no other government department, one, that has such a large staff complement. Because in excess of 1,000 individuals are employed as teachers. Because you have a whole bunch of primary schools, whole bunch of secondary schools, special ed teachers, counselors, principals, deputy principal, parent coordinators, the whole 9 yards, fine. What you also have is there's no other ministry that has their staff doing continuous professional development at the rate of education. If you have a room of 20 teachers and you ask how many of them are presently doing a degree or certificate program or master's or PhD, 15 of them will put up their hand, if not 18. Guaranteed. And so as the other ministries that have a problem with upgrade because you have one person in a one post and they never do anything ever, and they just tap there. That's not the case in education. Partially because we do it because we're trying to get out as quick as possible. Right? And so it is a unique circumstance.
Yeah, but then we have to plan for that unique circumstance. There's no excuse at this point. It is just complete tardiness.
Total slackness.
And it's just crazy that people have to be fighting for their money. And again, Daryl, I feel for you today. Can you know that?
No. Minister, them tell you to do. Tuesday morning, call the press conference and make them understand. Anybody who need a phone press conference this Tuesday morning, yeah, do understand that nice work you have, you will not have it Wednesday morning. You ever tell you? Because when me on the cabinet, me send you over stadium for Congress. You hear me tell you? Tell them Tuesday morning, all man. Right today, this table sit down with me for when ABS turn on then camera. And if any night feel I bad, me can show you how the sun go. That's all you have to do.
Oh, Lord.
Because I remember 2 years ago, was it 2 years ago? When the teachers had the big strike, like a bit after Easter vacation, they had to delay Easter vacation, hoping teachers would go back to work. They had to upgrade teachers who had been upgraded in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And I would walk on and run around. And I mean, my friends at Ministry of Education, the staff, they say, teachers used to make our work so long. And them had teachers in the then chess. And I'm like, yo, you know what happened now? Retribution. Because if you had done the work that you were being paid to do all those times, that you sat in the government's computer on Sheena and Temu and on Amazon and all of the other unnecessary crap that you were doing, you would not be there on a Saturday and on a Sunday doing work. I'm a hope government the guy was sent to overtime.
They will get their overtime. But that just shows that it's sad. It's sad. And they're so, again, the work that we're doing, I will say to anybody, Father God, days that I'm tired, I'm going to go sleep.
Amen.
But you see, Diana, there's a child at Potter's Primary. She started Potter's Primary in kindergarten, and she's now in grade 5. When she started, she was in a wheelchair. She's still in a wheelchair. No accessible bathroom. Last year is when they built an accessible bathroom. So can you imagine?
When she goes to secondary level.
No, but can you imagine? Kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, 5 years of one picnic life. Every single time she wanted to use the bathroom, she had to get help. Can you think
her mother couldn't work.
Can you imagine the emotional trauma? Can you? I'm a good person, you know. I'm a good human. But the days that I'm not the friendliest person, you will see me with a bitch face. You know what I mean? Like, just let me know, especially if the sun hot, especially if I forget. Let me get one flat tire one morning. Me swear if me get one flat tire, for me hold the ruin. For me hold the ruin if me get a flat tire. So, I will say that, again, no, that all that we do is designed to give individuals with disabilities jobs. And I'm going with the spirit of Job. Job was more successful at the end of his life than at the beginning. So I am thinking that what's going to happen, Good Humans 268, after we go through this like a season of nothingness.
Trials and tribulations.
Yes.
Better days are coming.
I'm going to have Guinness World Book records. We're going to have households paying us this $45. We're going to have events every weekend. We're going to be able to pay our team. We're going to pay for Social Security, medical benefits, and education levy. We're going to be able to give our staff insurance. We're going to be able to change. I can't credit you now. Things are going to go on for hours. So you see this time that hour go through, yeah?
Yeah.
Unnecessary. And I will say to anybody, you know, me tell them, like, the days that me cry, I pray to God, I don't want to cry when you give me the idea. Because Guinness World Book record come after one whole session of crying. Eco communities, all of them, I'm bawling. I don't want that. And it's for Antigua and Barbuda. And I will say to anybody, I want to get to the place where I've written it, it's on our website. And I said to somebody, if I give it over to somebody else, remember, waste management is important. It's linked to education. It's linked to mental health. It's linked to lots of different things. And I need a little support. And God is good. All the time, God is good. That is me. Going to, very spiritual. Hello, the spirit drove me a work pan. Cannot be none. We are not here operating on Joshinet. We're here on the spirit of Job and the backs of people who are giving. Because, and again, how much longer? It must come to a place when people with individual, when we can do it and people can get paid.
Oh my. And I agree with you. So as we look to wrap up this show, because we're at 7:40, and the people and them over at the church, they want to move my car because I guess I parked in the wrong place. That's okay. We're going to look to wrap up the show. But before we wrap up, Javez, you want to tell the people hi?
Say hi.
You want to say hi?
Say hi.
Go ahead, say hi.
Say good night.
Okay, he's just waving. I don't think he realized he can.
Good night.
Right, good boy. And so that's our second guest for tonight. That's Javez.
Game 68.
Say good human to say bye bye.
Good to good.
I guess that's as good as we're going to get. But I will say to wrap up, we need to try to find more innovative ways to support the individuals who are being our innovators, who are being our movers and shakers, because there's a lot that we can do. There's a lot that we can contribute to Antigua and Barbuda if we were given even the ounce of support that we require. That's all. No, answer everything.
Just like a support.
Little bit.
Change.
Little bit.
And even youth parliament, we need to train new politicians. Because as you rightfully say, I was laughing, but the reality is these people who are policymakers, they're not going to be there forever. So we have to train a new set of policymakers. We need to train people who are also willing to go in and change certain policies, like you cannot run for 10 terms. Like
yeah, I'm probably robbing. Hey, we talk about Guinness Book of World Records. That's a record somewhere.
I think we have that record for the longest serving politicians, parliament.
Because he served continuously.
For 50 years. Have we passed the 50-year mark, or are we approaching?
At the end of this electoral cycle, because 1976 to present, 76 makes 76 to 26, so what, 50? 50. So next year we'll make 50 years. So if he survives to the end of the parliamentary term, it would be 52 years that he served continuously.
And that's crazy.
Some people even live to 52. But
but I'm saying, and I'm just being very candid, we have to begin thinking about changing policies like that too. We should get to the place where policymakers, like the U.S., Trump is now trying to get a third term. I don't know if the world can survive the second term. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen if he gets a third term.
All things that we will see, but we look forward to seeing what happens. But ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure being with you guys. We're going to close off this week's show. Next week, we're going to have SNRA Speaks, which is, every second Friday of the month, we have students from the Snow Bridges Academy who come inside and they take over the episode. It is also CXC time. And so, we're going to have to make sure it's well planned so that we don't disrupt their studies as they're in the full heat and the pull and thrust of all their studying. But it's been a wonderful time. Next week, same time, same place. It's been an absolute pleasure. Again, thank you to Joshua Net, who is a regular staple on this show and a regular staple across the island, doing a whole bunch of amazing things. And, we pray for the day that she gets a little support to keep her going.
Nice having you. Off the sailing week.
Yeah. Bye.